Я подтверждение ситуации передаю на стройку. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Season 4 of the Talking Lead AK Corner. Proudly presented by Century Arms.
So does everybody know everybody here? Ken and Pete, do you guys know each other?
No, I don't think I do know Pete. Yeah.
Well,
No.
Pete's a bad motherfucker and a really good friend. And yeah, I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun together. I think I mentioned you to Pete, but I can't remember. But Ken is an OG AK guy, used to be at Century and now is at Primary Arms, and is probably the most enjoyable person to share a podcast with, even including Marty.
Yeah.
He knows how to get along with folks, and it's really fun. So
I appreciate that, Brian. Yeah, that's a great compliment, man. Now I'm just going to mess it up and be a butthead.
It's like, actually, I'm really a dick. I was just on my best behavior that day.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm off my meds now.
Is anybody here going to SHOT Show or?
Ken's going. Brian's going. I'm not going. Andrew's going.
I don't have any money, so
I
was going to go.
The last I talked to Brian, he was going, so he's not going.
Yeah, I wish.
All right, let's get started here. This is the kickoff of the Talking Lead AK Corner, Season 4, Episode 1, ladies and gentlemen. Presented by, drumroll please, back for a second round, Century Arms, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo. Presenting sponsors of the Talking Lead AK Corner. We are proud to have them.
We will celebrate.
We're going to do a little toast. little toast. Everybody cheers
drink,
up.
But
That's right. You were telling me about that a little earlier.
I'll take water.
I'm having a little soda there. So welcome in, Leadheads. I hope you've recovered from our Season 3 finale. It was a barn burner. Brian Keeney, my consummate co-host on the AK Corner, is also back for Season 4. Brian?
So stoked to be kicking it off again.
Yes, sir, and I'm glad that you're back with us. Occam Defense Solutions, also a supporting sponsor. And like I said, I can't do this without Brian. He's my right-hand man on this and pretty much responsible for a lot of the guests that we have on here, the content that we do. So Brian does a lot for the AK Corner. So you Leadheads, make sure you go and show him some love and give him some appreciation. OccamDefenseSolutions.com, at Occam Defense Solutions on the grams. Check them out there. And Brian, do me a huge favor in welcoming in our presenting sponsor. Our good buddy Drew is here representing Century Arms for the second time of the presenting sponsor for the AK Corner.
Woo! Yeah!
Hello, all.
Yay.
That means you don't have to change the logo. Yay!
Actually, I did. We skipped a year, so I just added them back in. So no.
Okay.
But yeah, for one of the cool things, Drew is not a suit. Drew wears a suit sometimes in his sales role, but he ain't a suit. He is OG AK, knows pretty much as anybody I know about, back in the day and moving up to now, and has expertise on a wide range of weapons, not just the AK. So he's a really interesting person to talk with and learn from. Stoked to have him back again.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Brian. That was very kind of you to say.
Very kind, very kind. Drew, it's been a while since we've had you on. At least 4 or 5 episodes of the AK Corner. Can't remember the last one you were on.
It's been way too long, Marty.
Way too long. Way too long. We even went through deer season without having you on.
I know. I was so busy. I just had a crazy fall, as you know.
Well, can we talk about that? Can we do the congratulations that are in order for you, or the best wishes maybe?
Oh, sure. If you feel the need to.
So since the last time Drew was on, he got engaged. He's getting hitched, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to make an honest woman out of Morgan. So it's about time.
You shut your damn mouth. She is an amazing creature. I don't know what got into her head to marry Drew, but yeah, she's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
good stuff.
it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna definitely be a big to do when it finally happens.
Oh yeah, knowing Morgan. Yeah, what do you got? Have you got it narrowed down to 1,000 at least?
Dude, you don't even know, man.
You rented
It's
out the Nashville
crazy.
Convention Center for this?
Hey, these things are so crazy expensive. It's insane. But we do have it chiseled down to about $250, which is pretty fair.
Okay, all right. That's surprisingly a lot fewer than I was expecting. So,
Well, Marty, sorry, but
good for
missed the
you.
cut, buddy.
I mean, good for you for keeping the reins tight, man. Being the man.
That's right. That's right. I didn't let it get completely out of control yet.
So Drew will be joining us for our kickoff for season 4 here, representing Century Arms. Also joining us, we've got Ken Ross, which, if you guys remember, Ken was on our SHOT Show edition that we did. I guess that was about 2 years ago in Las Vegas. We kind of did a little round table. We had Ken and Jim Holton and Brian and Jim Fuller. Was there anybody else joining us on that one? I can't remember.
Luke, Circle 10, was he there also?
I don't think so.
Think
No, he
so,
wasn't.
but there was Taylor Guitars and somebody else right there, and I can't remember if they sat in on that one a little bit.
Well,
or
no,
not.
we had a audience. I don't remember who all the audience was, but at the table, I think it was you guys, and that was an epic episode. If you guys want to go back, it was like season 2. I think it was episode 7 or something. I can't remember exactly, but it'll say the SHOT Show edition if you go back in season 2 or 3. I can't remember. Anyway, welcome back. We're glad to have you back. Ken is at the time he was with Century Arms. Now he is with Primary Arms. We've had Primary Arms on before, talking about 2 years ago. We were talking about their optics and reticles that they had specifically for the 7.62 but 3.9. So I thought it was time that we updated that information. I know they've got some newer products that implement that technology, so we're going to talk about that with Ken and some other things that Primary Arms has going on. And, of course, as you guys are listening to this, SHOT Show is going on. It's happening. Most of these guys are at SHOT Show as you're listening to them here. So we're going to be fortunate enough probably to get some things that they're holding off until next week as you're listening to this episode. So, Ken, welcome in.
I appreciate it, man. It's great to be back. I tell you, I got a chance to really get to know Brian then, and we've been cool ever since. So that was a blessing. And Andrew, we know each other from way back. So yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, looking forward to this, and then also back for the, I believe, second time, maybe the third time, from Defiant Munitions. We have Mr. Pete Pye. Pete, welcome in.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be back. This will be my second time. And like I said, it's an absolute honor to be a part of this, and very humbled to be asked to be on.
Well, we're glad to have you.
I will apologize right now. I don't know. I got the flu coming on or something like that. It started this afternoon, and I've been going downhill by the minute, so I'm pretty sure I'm running a fever. So just bear with me if I'm a little foggy. I'll do my best. So.
No worries. We got Brian here to keep you straight. He'll keep you on target, brother. Definitely. And Defiant Munitions, as you guys know, they are manufacturers of high quality ammunition of varying different rounds. Last time we talked, I think you were like five different types of ammo. What are you guys doing nowadays? What have you ramped it up to?
Boy, we have a huge lineup, coming. The biggest problem right now is, component availability. We're trying to grow our brand and get, into other calibers such as 45 ACP, 380 auto. 380 auto is a big one because there's not a lot of bullets out there that actually work out of these little guns. And, I feel that we have a very superior bullet in 380 designed, and it's going to do stuff that nobody else does. So yeah, we're expanding our line, slowly but surely. Like I said, it's been slower than we've wanted, but component availability has been a serious problem.
380 is definitely a good defensive round, so I think you'll get a lot of good response on that.
Yeah, right. We just for instance, we haven't had 300 blackout in stock for just going over a little over a year.
Oh wow.
But yeah, like I said, 300 blackout is by far our number one most requested round in supers and subsonic ammunition that's out of stock. It's insane, and I've been on the hunt for 300 blackout brass for a lot of time. I spend a lot of time every week trying to find some. So it's been a very challenging year.
Yeah, I think that's probably across the board for most ammo manufacturers.
Most definitely. Yeah, it's just not us. I think it's everybody. So, when we started Defy Ammunitions, we literally had a few months to get geared up, get production up and going and everything. And then we got hit by this. We're literally a brand new company, and we got, dropped into the lion den. And it's just been insane. So yeah, crazy stuff.
Well, we're glad that you've got other options there with that ammo, and you do make the 7.62 by 3.9, which I've had, and Brian has had the pleasure of testing out and trying, and very good ammo. So looking forward to getting your input on today's topic here.
Right. Yeah, we do a 190 subsonic and a 124 supersonic, and it is by far the raddest 7.62 by 39 loads on the market.
That's Andrew's word.
Obviously, I'm biased, but
it's not close. It's not even close. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
All right, I need to fix this real quick with Pete. We got to get your audio fixed here, brother.
I apologize. I can barely hear you guys. Let me try my headset one more time. I don't.
Well, try cutting that off. Try cutting your headset off and just going through your computer. So you're not out. So while Pete's doing that, Brian, welcome in Occam Defense Solutions. Real quick, talk about what's going on with Occam.
Yeah, so we have had for various reasons a bunch of staff turnover, and most of it's been really good, like people graduating college and moving, interns that we've had, or grad students that have moved on, and so we've got a pretty new staff running at the moment. And so we've got 2 new employees, Zach, who is a machinist and is running the machines as we speak, and Rachel has taken over for Cody in the admin role. So she is very professional, very good. She's not new to firearms, but is somewhat green. And so she's coming up as fast as she can, learning. But already she's really doing a great job. So that's been really exciting to get this new team up and running. And we've got a adjustable gas block where, like Pete was saying, procurement's been just awful. And we needed a fancy spring for the detent. There's a gas cup that you can click through the different settings on. Yeah. And gas blocks get really hot. And so we wanted to use a material that would not go soft on us at high temperature, which ended up being this exotic alloy called the Inconel X750. And finding the wire for those springs took a minor miracle.
That's just a funny name, Brian. I got to laugh at that. I'm sorry. Inconel what?
Inconel X750. And if our listeners want to look it up, it is really badass stuff. And it's got a working temperature up, depending on who you ask, between 11 and 1300 Fahrenheit. And so I only was able to get up at those temperatures when the barrel was glowing bright orange and round, it would just cook off rounds on its own. So, really happy with that. I'm happy to report that a small spring company in Oregon had the stuff in stock, and I had this awesome experience with another small business owner. This other company had blown me off and didn't even tell me that they couldn't get the material. So I found some wire on eBay, saw that it was Dependable Spring Company, and I'm like, whoa, maybe these guys will just make my springs. Call up, I get the owner, And the owner, I tell him my tale of woe, and what I usually try to say is, my emergency is not your emergency, but I really need these. And he's like, well, that stinks. Let me see what I could do. And he came back and he's like, yep, you'll have them next week. And he did, and they're here, and just thank God for good Americans trying to help each other out. And, a bunch of other friends have dragged my ass out of the fire.
That's how it's got to work, man, with the way the supply chains are these days. I mean, everybody's got to help everybody out to make it work. I'm glad to hear that. Good for him.
And so,
easier said than done.
Yep. Yeah. We're now in the main swing of getting the first big run of adjustable gas blocks out. And so that's the big news for the moment. In a week, we're going to have a bunch of other really big news, but it's not my news to tell. So,
what?
We'll wait. Yeah, I know it.
Well, this isn't going to release until the 19th. So does that coincide with the big news?
It's right on the hairy edge, and we'll talk about it next time. It's awesome. But
and your hairy edges. Okay.
Bit.
All right. Yeah. Well, very good. We're glad to have you back, co-hosting with us, co-sponsors of the Talking Lead AK Corner. Also coming back this year, Mission First Tactical, Seal 1, cleaning, lube, protection, CLP, Seal 1 with Dwight and the gang. And we're going to continue with our giveaways. Mission First is going to have the dump trays, the AK Corner specific dump trays. We call them armorers trays here. We use them as armorers trays. So we'll have those. We'll probably have the Century logo over here, Andrew. We'll get those put on the new trays with Dave. And, of course, the Seal 1, he's going to do the complete care package. We're going to give one of those away this episode. We're going to give a dump tray away. We're going to give away, I think IWI's got some stuff. We're going to give away a swag package from IWI. Pete wants to give away some ammo and maybe some coffee, I think.
Yeah, we got, I got all kinds of stuff. Like we do our own line of coffee. We do sight-in targets. We do like full-blown IFAKs with Cat 7 tourniquets. I don't know. Let's give it away, man.
Nice. I love that.
Got ammo. Down.
Ken wants to give away one of his optics. I think I tried to get him to give it to me, but we're going to give it to one of you lucky listeners. Ken, you're muted, by the way.
We're going to give away a 1X microprism.
A 1X microprism. So, that's going to be
microprism. Yeah, it's the hottest optic out there.
Is this it?
I tried to get one today and couldn't do it.
Is this it? Brian's showing right here?
Yes, it is, and it comes in this box right here. And if you are the lucky winner, you get an optic prism optic, 1 power, 1X. It comes with 8 different mounting options for it. It comes with eight illumination and 3 night vision.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in detail coming up. So one lucky winner is going to win that, and then there's Brian holding up some more stuff. Century has got a nice little package that we're going to kick off the season 4 episode 1 with. Andrew, what's Century going to be giving away?
We're going to send one of your lucky listeners a 10-pack of U.S. Palm AK mags.
Very nice. Now, do they get to choose the color?
Sure.
Y'all got like a bunch of colors now. You got the clear, you got the plum, you got black, do you have tan?
Yeah, we got FDE black, translucent with black base plate, translucent with FDE base plate. And then, I think that's it. Black FDE and 2 translucents. Plum is new, but I don't think probably won't give that away because I don't think they're ready yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't give it away if it don't exist. So, anyway, they're going to get one of those of your choosing. So, you choose the color for them, Andrew.
All right. Maybe we'll mix it up.
I like that. We'll do that.
Give them a couple of each.
Very cool.
That's for the charger. So, should be totally good to go now. I apologize.
Good old Pete, just tirelessly working to make our connection great. I appreciate that.
All right.
You're coming through good now, buddy.
Yeah, the audio's perfect. This is great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
totally.
This works good. This works good.
Perfect.
So like I was stating earlier, if you didn't have a chance, make sure you go back to our previous, the season finale of 3, where we had a whole slew of people, Brian. I can't remember everybody we had on. We had Marco Vorobiev. We had Sonny Pazikas. We had Jim Fuller. We had, what's his name? Jeff Kirkham.
Captain America.
Jeff Kirkham and Vermillion.
Neil Vermillion.
Combat
accountant.
The combat accountant on. So it was a hell of a show, and it was such an awesome show. I had to break it up into 2 parts. So it was a 2-part series. So you definitely want to go back and check that out if you hadn't had an opportunity to hear that yet. But I'm just glad that we're back with season 4. I appreciate all our sponsors that are making it possible, and I really appreciate Adam and Drew and the gang there at Century Arms for stepping up again as the presenting sponsors. So very awesome. It's going to be a great season. Send your questions, your comments, if you want specific guests on the show, talkinglead@gmail.com, and we'll try to make that happen for you throughout the year. Dropping 1 episode of the AK Corner every month, typically on the 15th of every month is when I try to drop it. This one's actually going to be around the 19th because of SHOT and everything that's going on. But then we'll be right on track next month. So let's get into it, Brian, Ken, Pete, Andrew. We want to talk about 7.62 by 3.9 specific reticles, optics. I know we've got a lot of questions about the mounting and ballistics. And, of course, I think Brian and Pete may want to get into a little bit about the zeroing again. We've talked about it in some past episodes, but it never hurts to rehash on that stuff. So I think a good way to kick it off is to let Ken talk about the offerings there that Primary Arms have with their Prism sights. So we'll let Ken kick it off.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Well, yeah, first of all, I want to talk about the new line of optics that we just came out with. Some of them will be AK appropriate. Some of them will have AK reticles in them. Some of them won't. But since we're talking about SHOT Show, we're introducing this here at SHOT Show. Yeah, just quickly to go over some of the things that we are unveiling at SHOT Show. This is totally AK non-specific, but we've got a couple of pistol sights that we're looking at. We've got our first pistol sight, which is the RS-10, which is a 3MOA red dot. It is rugged. It's got a nice hood on it. It's protected. So it is very. It's going to be a very robust. It's on the Doctor. It's got the Doctor footprint, but it also comes with a Picatinny mount as well. So it's got a lot of. It is our first pistol red dot, but I would advise you guys to kind of keep an eye out because it probably won't be the last that we do. We also still have our partnership with HoloSun, and the 509 is out now with the closed emitter. That is our latest introduction with HoloSun, and it comes with what we're really proud of, which is our Vulcan Reticle. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to take a look at that Vulcan Reticle, but it basically puts a circle around the chevron. So
the Vulcan Reticle.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what it is it's a chevron and it's got a circle around it. And here, let me put this up here.
Is it on your website? Because I can pull it up here for our viewing audience.
Yeah, it is on our website. Our Vulcan Reticle is on the website. And if you take a look at it, what it does is if you are using it as a pistol sight, the outside circle you don't see. So if you've never used a pistol red dot before, and you pull it up and you lose the dot, you really don't lose it with this because you see this circle that helps guide you back to the center of it. So it's a really innovative thing.
Oh, here we go. Nice.
Exactly. So when you're looking through it, it helps pull you back into the optic. So if you're off center, and a lot of people say, this is a rookie red dot, this is for people who don't know how to use a red dot. But what it is it's for unconventional positions. It's one of the most innovative red dots we've seen out there. If you are behind a car on the ground, you're bumping your shoulder up against something, you're not going to have the best presentation. It's not a square range. And this reticle does a great job of pulling you back on target. So we're really proud of that reticle. And now it's in the HoloSun 509 as well.
Okay,
we introduced. What I'm really pleased about is our 1-to-8. We just introduced our 1-to-8, which will definitely be something that the AK crowd is going to be interested in.
Absolutely,
Brian. I think you have one of our older 1-to-8s that we sent you.
I have a couple of your 1-to-6s in the ACSS first and second focal plane. Both of them they work really well. I've posted there's a bunch of shots up on our Instagram feed using that scope on both a pistol and a rifle. Really, really nice piece of glass.
Well, the impressive thing that you're going to see about this 1-to-8 is it has swappable turrets. So you can pull the turret cap off. You can set the optic. You can use it, or you can swap it out and use the adjustable turret, exposed turret on it. We've got ED glass in it. The magnification goes down from 1-to-8 at 8. It is basically, we've got several reticles in it. We've got the Griffin mill. We've got our Raptor M8, and we've got our Raptor M8 in meters as well. We've got it in yards and meters. So we've got some. If you go to our homepage and click on the new product section, all of this will be there.
I'm on your homepage.
Banners right there. Yep. Click through those banners right there, and as soon as you keep going, that one. Click there.
Boom.
And scroll down, and you will find all of our new products that we're releasing.
Oh, nice. Here we go. Yeah, so listeners go to primaryarms.com, and they've got a little thing with a banner at the top of it. You can click on it, and you can get all these new products here and look at it, as we're looking at them here for our video audience. Very cool.
Yeah. And we've got a new hunting line that we released, 1-inch tubes on these. So, we're getting into the hunting market. We're really serious about that.
You got a 1-to-10.
Yes.
Dude, talk about the 1-to-10. I want to hear about that.
The 1-to-10, we just brought that one out this year as well. Really proud of that one. It's got, let me make sure I get this right, because like I said, you see all of these offerings we have. I need to make sure
it's a lot to keep up with.
Right. I got to keep these reticles right, man. That's the hard part.
Got the optimized ACSS.
Yeah, we've got the Griffin reticle in that, and the Raptor reticle in that as well. So when you get a chance to go out and check out these reticles on our reticle page, you get a chance to see what we're actually putting out there. It's ranging. It's a great BDC. It uses our ACSS technology on it.
Very cool. So we're looking at, you've got some new scope mounts as well.
Yes.
That's new.
American-made scope mounts. That is our new SLX line of optics mounts, and it is all made in the USA. We're really proud of that one as well. We spent a lot of time engineering it. It's very robust. It's got a I-beam kind of feel to it. You're really going to struggle to break this one. It's got a great finish on it. We're really proud of these.
Very nice. And that goes a 30 or 34 millimeter. You got?
Yes. Yep. 30 and 34.
Both
yes, sir.
Those. And then I'm just going through here where you got a 4-to-12 by 40. You got a 4-to-12 by 50. There's a 3x9.
Those are part of the hunting line.
Yeah. Yep. Very popular 3-to-9. And then of course your reflex sights that you've got here.
Yeah,
mini
that's
reflex.
The two that we were talking about, the RS10 and the HoloSun partnership that we have with the Vulcan Reticle in it, the 509.
And the only thing I'll correct you on, Ken, is that these aren't AK specific. We actually have a bunch of customers, including James Yeager, who runs one of these as his primary glass on one of our pistols. And that Vulcan Reticle with the it's basically like bumpers that corral you back into being on target. There's a lot of really uncomfortable rifle postures, like non-square range stuff, where that becomes a real issue. And so I think likewise, when you're, offhand fetal position behind the wheel of a vehicle, that can be, weak side. That can be very hard to find that dot. And so I love the guardrails that outer circle Vulcan Reticle provides there. That makes good sense.
Yeah, we've got it in a
that is super rad.
Yeah, it is really unique. It's really innovative, and like I said, there are some who have said it's a rookie optic, but the great thing about it is once you figure out how to use it and you don't want it, you can turn it off.
You start getting old man eyes too.
Right.
It helps. Like me, definitely. I could definitely use that.
True words, Marty. True words.
I knew Andrew would chime in on that one.
But we've also got our reticles in our older optics. We've got the 2X that is super popular optic in the AK crowd. I mean, that's one of the coolest things about going to the Kalash Miss and the Kalash Bash and the Red Octobers is we get a chance to see, it's part of being part of a cult in the AK community and seeing our optics mounted on all of these guns. We've got our older optics, and you really feel like you're appreciated with the AK community, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, when we had you guys on a couple of years ago, and we were talking about this, and I didn't realize that you guys were an optics company. That's how you started out, and that's kind of your bread and butter. I didn't really realize that, and you guys then you've really come along, and you've added to your collection or your arsenal. You've got quite a big selection of scopes and red dots, and now you're coming out with the pistol sight. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we've been we started out as an optics company. Now we have the .com, and we're a whatever you need, you can come here and you can get it. We've expanded our soft goods lineup. We've got our law enforcement division, our wholesale division. We our law enforcement government division. We really, it is a growing company. And we hosted our first event alongside NRA, where we brought Brian. I know you were invited and didn't get a chance to come out, but
I was bummed. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it was the hottest day.
I was invited to that too, by the way.
Yeah, it was the hottest day ever. So, if you wanted to lose weight, that was the day to do it, because you would lose about 10 pounds of water. But
it looks like you're selling Century rifles there as well. So
we absolutely are. Century is a great partner. That's one of the things about Primary Arms. We like our partnerships. Yeah, we really try hard to not just work with people, but they actually are partners, and we work really hard to keep that partnership going and support each other.
Now, is this website up to date? So as I'm looking at this and seeing these, are these available now, or does it say when something's out of stock?
It's got a black line under it. It's probably, the black line is out of stock. So if you go to the top of that page and you click
this one?
Availability, if it does not have that black line up under it, that means that's what's available. So Andrew needs to send us some more guns.
Hey, Marty, it literally says in stock in green under the ones that are in stock.
Hold on. Gotta put my old man on.
Change your glasses.
There we go. How about I put them on? Email me when in stock. There you go. So
there you go.
But for our listeners who aren't seeing this, Andrew, come on. For our listening audience.
Well, no one can see you. I can't see
Get in
you
touch.
Right now, Marty.
You can't see anyway. Very good. God. So what about anything else on the new line product we need to discuss before we go into the specific AK reticles there?
For the last thing is the 3X Magnifier. It's a flip-to-side magnifier. It's got we've got two versions: a non-ranging and a ranging that we call the Pegasus, and it has a ladder in it, a BDC ladder in it, so you can actually range. You can get width, you can get height on it, and you mount it behind your red dot or your Primary Arms optic, and you can actually range with it. So it sits at the bottom of it and allows you to range with it. So that's a very unique thing. I haven't seen any magnifiers with a BDC in it. So
very nice. And those are available now?
That is is coming soon.
Coming soon this year?
On pre-order. Yeah, that one's on pre-order. Everything we introduce now will be available this year. We're hoping to have everything available by the time we hit summer easily.
Okay, all right. And as I was going through your website here, I noticed that it looks like you're going to be a part of the Gundies this year?
Yes, we participated last year. We're a sponsor again this year. We've worked with Forge a number of times. In fact, we worked with them on our range event, and we're really, it's a great partnership for us. We're looking forward to this year's Gundies, and in fact, we're doing a giveaway for a trip to the Gundies for 2. So if you go to this giveaway and you actually win, you and one of your buddies get to join us at the Gundies, and basically you get to hang out with all of the influencers that you see on Instagram and YouTube. All of the top influencers come out, shoot some cool guns, and spend some time with the gun community.
Well, in case you didn't know, Talking Lead happens to be nominated for Top Voices of the 2A. So we have been nominated for a Gundie Leadhead, so go and vote for us, and maybe I'll get a trip out there.
Word.
Well, and the not so common knowledge on this is that very few people, for whatever reason, tend to sign up for these contests. And in contrast to something, in regular culture that you'd sign up for and never win, with most of these with these kinds of contests, you've got a damn good shot of winning.
Well, and that's the thing, too, with these Gundies. If you vote, then you automatically get entered into – they're doing giveaways. I don't know how many giveaways that just the Gundies are doing, and this might be part of their giveaway. I don't know, Ken, but they got a lot of stuff that they're giving away for people who go and they vote for their favorite whatever category it is. And they've got a ton of different categories. But like I said, we have been nominated this year, Talking Lead, for Top 2A Voices. So I've got a link on my Instagram. I got a post there. So if you guys want to go and give us a vote, we greatly appreciate it. I think you can vote up to like 15 times per day for your favorite. You can spread those out, or you can give them all to one person or one channel or whatever the topic may be. But February the 19th, I think, is when they're going to have those. I don't know if I'll be going or not, but if I win, I might.
The coolest part about it that I can't believe I forgot, since our advertisement has it on there, there are tanks everywhere. You get to go.
You can drive them,
Yeah, you get to go climb on tanks, and it is like driving into an African safari. You get to as you're driving into this event, there are all kinds of exotic animals on the way into it. So it's really an experience.
Is this like their third or fourth year?
You get to drive the tanks there, Ken.
I don't think they let us drive them, but they'll let you stand in front of it as they shoot them.
I'm attending the Gundies, and I have been assured I will be able to drive some tanks.
Okay. All right. Well, then I want to be with you so I can drive a tank too.
Why are you going to the Gundies?
You will be anyway.
You have no social media, Drew. Why are you going to the Gundies?
Century is a sponsor of the Gundies.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, there you go. So
I'll be there with the giant.
Vote for Talking Lead, Top Voices of the 2A. It's a robust selection of people to choose from here. I don't think I got a snowball's chance in hell because look at all the people that are that you get to vote on. Iraq Vet's going to be one of the nominees. We Like Shooting, Diane. I actually voted for Diane instead of me, but Diana. Coleon Noir. So my odds are probably slim, but the more votes you guys give us, the better. So enough about that. Let's get into reticles. Let's talk about reticles.
All right. So you're looking at our Raptor reticles. We're talking 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39 reticles that we've got. They've got a great BDC in them, ranging reticle in it.
Let me interrupt you. Did you say there's a page on your website that has your reticles?
Yes. Now, where it is, under our optics page, there should be a page there. If you go to the homepage.
Go to the homepage? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a homepage.
And then you click on the optics down at the orange banner in the right-hand corner.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that is all about primary arms optics. Everything you would ever want to know about a primary arms optic is located on this page.
Very good. Let's see. Here we go.
There you go. Reticles.
Bam.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everything about reticles you would ever want to know, primary arms reticles you would ever want to know, you will see them there.
Except what we talk about on this show. You have to listen to this show to get that information. So here's the ones that we're going to be talking about right here.
There you go. Exactly.
So
there'll be 300 blackout 762 by 39 reticles and the different optics that they come in. And there are way more than that are there. So
yeah. So this is the one we're talking about. So let's do that. So let's talk about the science behind this reticle. And I think
Which one is
actually Amazon's got a bigger picture of it here on Amazon.
There you go.
how did Amazon get a better picture than
Man, y'all got to step it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. No, but you can actually buy our optics on Amazon as well. So yeah.
So we're going to use this one for our talking purposes because it's big and everybody can see it here.
I'm trying to find, I've got a printout here. Maybe I can show you some stuff on here too. Give me a second.
So specifically, we're looking at the SLX Compact 3x32 Gen 2 Prism Scope, the ACSS CQB 300 Blackout 762x39.
So what you're going to get out of that is you're going to get bullet drop compensation. You're going to get wind holds. You're going to get ranging ladders, which you'll see on the sides there. You're going to get moving target leads as well, which are on the left and right of the chevron. And the whole thing allows you to range. That whole ladder allows you to range out as you are shooting. So the further out that you go, the more range that you can use on it.
Very good. So let's talk about the distances and all. Do you know all that as far as what each one represents? And
just a sec. I know everything. Hold on.
You know it all.
Well, and this might be a good moment for Pete to talk about ranging in general using a scope. I know the kindergarten level, but Pete, you in good shape to talk about?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sure.
And Pete is a precision shooting champion as well. He competes a lot in long range precision shooting.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years, but I do have a little bit of experience in it, and I did enjoy it, and I still enjoy it. I just don't have time for it now. And obviously in my law enforcement career, I was able to participate a little bit more and stuff like that. But now I own my own business, so I don't have time for anything. So I'm not really sure how this reticle looks. I mean, it looks like obviously on the left and right windage, there are some bars there to calculate approximate distance.
That's exactly what they are. Get height and distance and width as you go out. Yeah. The further you go out, it gives you different height and distance as you go further out. So you have shoulder width at the top line, and as you go further out, the shoulder width would get narrower. That's what that ladder is indicating. Mm-hmm. As you go further out, it gets narrower. So if you picture your target is at 100 yards, it would be the average shoulder width of a okay, we don't like to say min, but of a IPSC target. And as you range further out, it would get narrower as you come in. So what this allows you.
And this is a 3X that we're looking at here, but you have these on the 8X or just the 6X?
This is on the 3X.
So let's talk about, we've done this before, sighting in your AK, and we've gotten different opinions on distances and things like that. But Pete, for yours, where do you typically start in sighting in your 7.62?
Pete just messaged me that he's gone dark on his side, like his screen and that kind of thing. So, we may need to hold fire come back to him in a little bit here.
Okay. Well, what about you, Brian? You do a lot of test shooting with yours, and you actually have the primary arms reticles there, and you've been using them for quite a while.
I've probably zeroed that ACSS 100 times, somewhere in there, maybe more. And so I can speak to the quality of the turrets and the lack of lash and all that, because I'm always monkeying with them. The way I use this scope is for testing our firearms, particularly if somebody doesn't order sights, because when I can co-witness with our iron sights, then I'll use a red dot. And Ken, I'd love to loop back around if you can help me remember for your MD25 micro red dot. Really big fan of that sucker. But when somebody doesn't order sights, then I can use glass. And so every gun that we've shipped where somebody doesn't get sights, it's been this primary arms 1-6. And both the first focal plane and the second focal plane both work very well, and it's sort of a personal preference thing. I started out liking the second focal plane more. The problem with the second is that the ranging stuff, the reticle, stays the same size no matter what, and that you'd think that would be really great, but it can cause issues. And so I'm not enough of an expert to speak on which. Well, there's a reason people make two. Let's put it that way. The first focal plane, the ranging features stay true to size throughout the range. I've got that right, Ken, right? I sometimes get those mixed up. So when I'm using this guy, I'll slap it onto a new gun. And what I'll typically do, the way we set up our targets is they're about 2 feet by 4 feet. The right half of the target, I just have one dot in the middle of that. And then I've got a bunch of little targets off to the left. And so what I'll do with the 1-6X is I'll take a couple shots, and the turrets on this guy are very positive. And so I'll just look for where it is on paper. I've never had it not be on paper, but if that's your situation where you're in, I normally zero at 50 yards. But if you're out at 100 and you can't see paper, I like to point it into the dirt, into the berm, so that I can get a dust puff for where the bullet's landed, and then walk it in a coarse way where you just wing the turrets over. So then once I'm on paper, then you just do the math. And so at 50 yards, an inch is 2 MOA. And so if you're using MOA adjust, then you would click, if it's half an MOA per click and you're 2 MOA, you're going to do 4 clicks to get in, and then take another set of shots and just keep walking it in. And if you're good with your distance estimation, which I've gotten after this many of them, then it's a pretty fast process. It can be a couple shots. Typically, often, but not always, you'll need 1 or 2 shots to seat the scope with the gun so that it'll settle. It'll kind of click into place. One big trick is to shove the scope forward against the recoil notches, because the gun wants to go backwards, which means you want to shove the scope forward when you mount it so that it's up against the front side of those grooves there. And it's funny, depending on what your target looks like, and this is an area where Pete and I vary a little bit. A chevron is better in some things than a reticle is better than a dot. It just really matters. And so if you're using a chevron, I really like a target that has a cross to it, because if you're shooting a dot is my preference for a red dot, because you can line up. If you have a 2 MOA dot and a 1-inch circle at 50 yards, the two lie on top of each other exactly. With the chevron, if you're trying to find the middle of a circle with the chevron, it can make your brain very confused and busy. And so with Ken's stuff that's got a chevron, I tend to like a crosshair better. However, that's just, it's preference,
personal
right?
preference,
but I will very commonly put 2 bullets in 1 hole at 50 yards with either the first or second focal plane glass from Primary Arms. So the things that I've covered, the lash, the glass is super clear, and they just kind of work. So that's how I use the 1-to-6 power. I make sure to throw it around a bunch, and it lives in our shooting trailer. So it gets bolted to the side of the trailer. So all that road vibration, like I drove to Vegas down for Red October and put 18 hours of vibe on this thing, and we just never get a hiccup. There's one last thing that I love about them, and that is that inside one of the turret caps is a spare battery. And one thing that is uncommon but common, or Primary Arms does, is that they illuminate the reticle. And so you don't need that during the daytime. But as things start getting dusky, boy, is it nice to have it. And I'm sure it helps in the day, but I'm normally shooting for accuracy and not in a tactical situation.
Yeah. Inclement weather, definitely can come into play nice. Now, is that the 1-to-6 that has the 7.62 reticle?
It sure does.
Okay.
And it works. I've taken it out to 500, and it actually just works. Our listeners can pull up what it looks like, but there's this ranging thing that is that kind of ladder looking deal where it's sized for a 5-foot 10-inch male, and you put it over their head to the ground, and that tells you your range. I happen to know the range ahead of time, and there are below the chevron there are crosses that correspond to major. Is it yardage or meters or both? Ken, I don't know.
I pulled this up so you guys could take a look at it, but I don't know if I can share this with you.
If you go to share screen, you can, yeah.
All right. Hold on one second. Let me go here so you can see what Brian is talking about.
I want the record to reflect that Marty gets very uppity when people conflate meters and yards. And I would just like to point out me being sloppy for once on the numbers because I don't typically care. Hey, and we got Pete Pie back. Awesome.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know.
And we lost Ken. We got Pete back and we lost Ken.
So
go, Brian.
This is the thing. And so there's a bunch of fancy stuff that I don't know much about, but I do know that if you use these ladders, you just if you're at I don't know this specific one, but if you're at 400 yards, I'm imagining with the 4 here, and can correct me.
Yeah.
You're gonna put the crosshair there, and when I did that on a 500-yard target next to the one that would have a 5 on it, holy heck, we hit stuff. And so I don't want to oversell my knowledge on the reticles.
Yeah.
But
so we're looking at we're hitting 0. We're going to 0 at the top of this chevron. Okay, and as you move down, it's going to adjust to 100, 200, 300 by the time you get to the bottom of the chevron. And then as you go down the ladder, it'll go to 4, 5, 600 yards.
And that is yards, not meters.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
Yes, that is yards. So that's what you're getting out of that reticle, and you also get width on that as well. You got your target move left and right, which is on the outside of the circle as well. You've got the ladder there for windage holes, or the dots on the sides for windage holes, which we talked about before for this particular optic. So, it's got a lot of function to it. It gives you, you don't have to do any calculation. You can basically dope everything from it, from right inside the reticle. You can really get a good idea. So as long as you know what kind of ammunition you're using, as long as you zero with the same ammunition that you're using, when you're out shooting, when you're using it for defensive purposes or target shooting, as long as you're using the same load, as long as you've got the same lot of ammo, you're going to consistently hit in the same areas as you do when you're zeroing.
Gotcha. And Pete, when you got cut off, I was asking you typically, what's your procedure for sighting in 7.62? Did I lose Pete again? Hey, Pete Pie. So.
Oh, I hear somebody's mic. Hey, there's Pete.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you guys. I went back to the cell phone. I don't know what's going on, but
technology.
I got good on both devices, so I apologize.
It's the feds trying to keep us down.
And,
It's the globalists.
Damn feds don't want us sighting in our AKs, those mofos. All right, Pete. Okay, so when you're sighting in your 7.62, what's your procedures? What's your range that you start at, and talk about all the nuances that you go through when sighting in your in zeroing your AK or your 7.62.
So I treat all rifles if it's a bolt action gun or an auto gun. When I am sighting in, I start with a clean firearm. I'm talking like, clean the barrel, make sure all the copper's out of the barrel, all the powder fouling, everything. But I said that reverse, make sure the powder fouling's out and then the copper fouling. And I do all my sighting with my go time ammo. A lot of people sight with, say, we'll just use me as an example. I do 124 grain 7.62 by 39 load. It's 2375. It's actually a little underrated. We're more like 2405. And they'll take just the cheapest 7.62 by 39 to sight in, and they think that's good enough. And in my opinion, it'll be close. But they're just trying to save $1. But in reality, you need to be sighting in with what you're going to fight with. I cannot express that enough, how important that is. And so on my AKs, I use a 50-yard zero. It's always worked really well for me. I know, there's a ton of people out there with different opinions and, that doesn't work and that doesn't work. Well, where are you? My question is, I all the time I get customers that call here, where do I zero my 7.62 by 39 and your ammo at? And I tell them exactly what I said, and then they argue with me because they didn't get the answer that they wanted. And it's like, well, why did you ask me? But my procedures are, I start with a very well maintained rifle. I will bag the rifle and get my zero. If I have trouble getting my zero,
and explain bagging the rifle for our listeners.
So yeah, you put it in a.
He's going to get some visual.
Yeah. So, this is kind of a multi-purpose bag. It's just a rest, Yeah. So, we can
stabilize the rifle. Get it stabilized as well as possible.
I don't know how much to stabilize the rifle. So, after I feel comfortable,
nice rifle by the way.
Then I will check the sighting off the bags. I'll do some prone, some kneeling, and kind of just shooting all the positions just to confirm, just in case something was goofy with the way I was bagging, resting the rifle or something like that. Maybe, just something was weird and hit the barrel weird or anything. So I confirm in as many positions as I possibly can to confirm zero. Yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I've always done it.
Okay.
So,
and are you using scopes, red dots, iron sights? Do you do the same procedure for no matter what it is?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and on Occam, I have Brian's iron sights and a T1, I think it is. And so yeah, I sometimes. So what I'll do is typically zero the iron sights and then go to the optic. So
gotcha.
That's typically I do iron sights first and then your electronics.
And then throw your electronics. Very good. Andrew, when you're sighting in my guns.
Marty, as many times as I've done it, you should be able to answer this for him. But typically what I do with AKs, I do a couple different things. With AK pistols, I typically sight them in at 50, and I don't really go beyond 50 with the irons. Electronic red dots, I still stick to 50 with my AK pistols. That's just me personally. Into a standard AK rifle, I start at 50, zero at 50, and then I move out to 100. Depending on the guns, not everybody has an Occam, which, we all know we can shoot those bad boys 500 plus. But if you're just taking a standard AK from Century or a lot of other companies, 100 yards is where I like to put my irons on a full length rifle. I will zero an Optic. I do have some 20-inch AKs, and I do zero those at 200, just because they have that ability. But you don't have to. Typically, what I do, like I said, short barrels, 50, 100 for my AKs, and that's just how I roll. As far as I also repeat that ammunition thing we've talked about, you want to zero with what you're going to fight with. If you are going to fight with garbage shit, zero with garbage shit. So you understand that you're not going to get the consistency, and you understand that. If you're going to fight with good ammo, zero with good ammo. That's just the bottom line. Optics are not magic. Everyone thinks they're magical. They are not. You're going to take 1 point and put it to another point. There's a whole hell of a lot of variables on that gun, that ammunition between those things. So if you're zeroing with, standard, basic, cheap ammo, and then you go slap in some of Pete's ammo, it's not going to be even close.
So I'm going to approach it from a little bit of different zero on this. The 50, 100, absolutely. You take Brian's, you can zero it out to 500 basically, because Brian's making some great stuff. But I'm from the self-defense point of view, you zero at the longest distance that you're going to be defending yourself at. What's the longest distance that you're going to take to defend yourself in your home? Sometimes that's a 25. And if you live in a palace the way that Andrew does, then it might be out to 50 or 100 yards. So understand where you're going to be using this firearm and zero it to that. If your longest shot is going to be a 25-yard shot, then you probably want to make sure it's going to hit where you need it to hit. Use the best ammo that you've got, understand what it does, and don't use garbage ammo. Like you said, you buy good ammo, you zero with it at whatever that zero might be, and you go from there. Like I said, 25 yards, if that's the longest shot you're ever going to take in your home, then that's where your zero should be.
Yeah, you bring up a
valid
before, something that I didn't say is, after you get your zero for wherever you decide, you need to know what that rifle's doing at distance. At least have a good idea. Like you said, if we zero, say, hey, my Occam will never leave my house. If I get in a gunfight, it's going to be with that. We're talking 3 to 7 feet. But here's the kicker. You still need to spend the time with the rifle and know what it's doing. If you have to take the fight outside for whatever reason, and now you have engagement at 300 meters, and you have no idea where that 7.62 by 39's hitting, we got a problem. Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said. I think they're all very good, valid points. Yeah,
understanding your offset as well. So if you are taking that point blank shot, and where is it hitting? Understanding that offset from the optic. How high is your optic mounted? Where a lot of people are on the AR platform are using that 1.9 riser on it now, and that's a pretty high riser. So where's that cranial ocular shot actually hitting when you're at a close range with that? So really, it all goes back to understanding your hardware and using your software the right way.
Right.
Hey, I'm going to throw a shameless plug in real quick. If anyone had taken the AK operators course that Marty put on at Royal Range was it last year, Marty?
It was last it was last year, Brian, right?
It's about a year ago. Yep.
We did a lot of work in that operators course with offset, shooting at some pretty close ranges with AKs, and actually it was a really one of the things, even with as long as I've been shooting, that I got a lot out of that. Offset. That's something that all the lead heads out there, it's something you need to think about, especially if you're planning to use an AK for home defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jared with 212 training put that course on with us along with Brian. We did a little gunsmithing armors piece to that as well. We need to do another one. We've got a lot of requests for us to do another one, so we may bring that back. So
that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to come out and help with that again. It was great.
Yeah, it was good to hang out with you too. We had some fun. There's everybody's bringing up really great points, and I think people have kind of covered this, but I want to beat a couple nails all the way into the board here. The first one that Ken's talking a lot about offset, which is it's as big a deal as he's saying it is. And one important thing to understand is that if you zero at 25 feet, so the bullet and the dot cross the same, they're in the same place at 25. You've made a triangle. And you know that at 12.5 feet, the offset is going to be half the height over bore. And so you don't get out of offset with different zeros, because if you're zeroing for 25, and Ken is, I'm adding on to what Ken said. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm emphasizing a couple things here. People say, oh, I'm going to be fighting close, so I can just zero short. Well, that's not exactly true, because if you're zeroing for 25 and you're at 12, you're going to be, if it's a standard AR, the height over bore between the dot and between the center of the glass and the bore is about 2.7 inches. And so if you zero at 25, then your shot's going to be, let me see here, low by an inch and a quarter, roughly, at 12.5 feet. And as Ken wisely, again, just underlining and bolding what Ken already said, that magic triangle that Ken knows the fancy word for between your nose hole and your eye holes, that's where you want to that's where your headshots are going to count. And so 1.5 inches actually matters. And so, yeah, that's a thing. The other one was, we kind of talked around this one, but I don't care what gun you're talking about and what BDC you're talking about, whether it's a FAL, an AK, or a bolt gun. The BDC gets you very close, but there is no substitute for checking that dope, because as Pete was a bunch of people were highlighting, different guns and different ammo really change things. Like the tighter your headspace, the higher the muzzle velocity is going to be. If you've got a really sloppy AK, you're going to have lower muzzle velocity because there's going to be blowback. Basically, the gas will be able to reach around the cartridge and head back into the receiver by a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's Pete, who did some testing with my guns early on, and he called me up and he's like, I'm confused. Why the hell is your gun shooting 200 feet per second faster than everybody else's? And we pay very, very, very careful attention to the headspace, and all of our guns are on this side of a go gauge. And that's as best as I can figure out as to what was going on there. And so 200 feet per second, Pete could tell us if that's a really big deal or not. But different bullet shapes, ballistic coefficients, all that will impact how a BDC works. And again, this is not primary arms specific, and this is not AK specific. This is true for all things.
Yeah, so I just built a little chart real quick. Did you say, because this makes a really big difference, your loss of words here.
Doing math on the fly. Look at Pete go.
So the sight height is about 2.7, Brian? Is that what I heard you say?
On an AR-15, it's right around there. And on an AK, it's 50 millimeter on a stock AK. On one of our guns, it's 2.4, right in the middle between the two. So 2 to 2.7 is kind of the range on the standard setups for guns.
Right. Okay. So I don't know how far we want to go down the rabbit hole with this. I'll just spout this off real quick. So say we use a 50-yard zero. You're hitting dead on at 50 yards. Your bullet is coming out of the gun, climbing, and then going back down. So it's going to intersect again right at 150 yards. So I'll just kind of go through this, and I hope I explained it okay. So at 25, if you zero at 50, at 25 yards, you're a positive 1.25 inches high. Now these are just rough numbers, obviously. So you're going to be, 1.25 inches, which, really doesn't make a huge difference. And then at 100, if you move out to 100, you're 0.3 mils low at 100. And I didn't know if you guys wanted, if I should talk in mils or MOA. I have both, but and then at 200, you are a a positive 0.4 mils. Yes. So yeah, I mean, it's just really important to know what your gun does. You really, if you're using your firearm to potentially save your life or your family's, you need to spend the time. Don't be lazy. Who's lazy? Dead people. So take the time and really focus on knowing your rifle and what you're going to do, because just because if I woke up today and said I'm going to get in a gunfight at 25 meters, it's going to go the opposite way. Now we're fighting at 100 or 300. So Murphy's Law, So
and you guys have been talking self-defense, with this too, but I know a lot of people, including myself, that use it to hunt with also. Just as important. Competition shooting. We did a couple episodes back. We had we talked specifically about the AK shooting competitions that are becoming more and more prevalent across the nation, and those guys, the precision that they have to get their rifles running is probably beyond anything that anybody else really tries to go for. So those guys are really pushing the limits and the technology and getting it out there, thanks to those competition shooters that are out there and the growing number of people that are getting involved. And I know we got a lot of listeners that have recently started getting into the AK competition shooting as well. So these are all great tips that could go either for any of those scenarios that you're talking about there.
Marty brings up a really good point. Like, for you guys who are hunters out there, I hope you've never gut shot a deer, but I know I have. And I felt horrible. I will never forget the feeling of what that was like, and the complete lack of sleep that I had that night. I was doing a dusk hunt, and I was up all night thinking about that deer that was suffering and dying a very slow, terrible death. And I think a lot of us, I certainly have been guilty of it, haven't had our zero. I wouldn't dream of going hunting without a really good zero. That the gut shot was the deer was too close, which was a good lesson. But we don't maniacally check our zeros. I'm sure some of us do, but a lot of us get a little lackadaisical about getting a zero on our fighting rifles. And so I think Marty makes a fantastic point. Most of us feel awful, and you should feel awful if you gut shoot a deer. And but imagine the magnification of that if you had to use your gun to save your life and it wasn't zeroed. Imagine what the rest of your life would be like. That sounds awful.
Well, it's like Pete said, the lazy people are dead. So that's what would happen. You wouldn't have to worry about it then.
And let's not forget, if you're talking about hunting and competition shooting, and Pete, you know this better than anyone, I'm sure, with the long distance shooting, there's also the variable of weather conditions. You start looking at humidity, you start looking at heat. It makes a huge difference as well. So when you start stretching out to multiple yards, you also got to take into account, so if you zero in Arizona, your zero in Michigan is going to be completely different, even with the same ammunition.
Yeah. Pete, would you mind talking a little bit about why it's important to not leave your ammo in the sun when you're at a training?
So, did you say me to explain it?
If you don't mind, I figured that you're the best qualified person to talk about rapid exothermic reactions and what happens when you have a higher initial starting temperature.
Let's do that, and then we're going to get into listener questions because we're running long. We hit our stride a little late, but let's do that and hit the listener questions.
If for Pete Jr. having technical difficulties, we'd probably all be in bed already.
Oh, you're good.
So I'll tell you what, I'll just make it real quick. We'll go super layman on it. So we try to use, and I try to research the most temperature stable powders that we have available to us. But we could have the most temperature stable powder in the world. If you leave your ammunition out in the sun, and now that case heats up to, a $150 temperature, and your powder's, at 140 degrees, it's going to change the pressure, because it's I have seen it so many times where people go to competitions and stuff, and they're leaving their ammo out in the sun, and the next thing you know, they're blowing primers, and now they have a major malfunction of the firearm, bolt action. It doesn't matter. You pop a primer, and what I mean is, if a primer, comes out of the back of the case, it doesn't matter if it's a bolt gun or an auto. Especially autos is even worse. You're going to have some problems, and you're more than likely not going to be able to fix that gun. So now we move this over to a gunfighting scenario, and now your gun is down, and you're done. And so it is very important to protect your ammunition, no matter what you're doing. So I carry chest rigs in my truck. I carry 2 of them, with one for set up for an AR, one set up for an AK. I try to keep them covered and in a spot in the pickup to where they're going to stay the coolest, because I don't want to have to go out there and now my ammunition temperature is 150 degrees, and you're going to get one round off, and that's going to be it. So I don't know if I explained that okay or not. I was trying to just keep it quick, simple, and
If anybody didn't understand it, they can email me, talkinglead@gmail.com, and I'll forward you that, and you can go into detail with it. But I thought you did a good job. I understood it. All right, let's do listener questions now. I'm going to go to Instagram. I'm going to do the first one, but I want Ken, Brian, Pete, if you guys have access to the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, I want you to go and pick a question that you'd like to field.
You didn't say Andrew.
Well, because Andrew has no social media. He is a no social media having mofo. I will do it for Andrew.
That's all right, Marty. You can just read it to me.
Yeah, I'll read it to you. Since you cite my rifles in, I'll read your questions to you.
Okay.
All right, so Giddy Up. He says, what's the best red dot co-witness? Lower 1/3, asking for a friend. Does it matter? Who wants to take that one?
Red dot.
I got opinions. Oh, yeah. Ken, take it.
No, I got something.
No, my opinions are not going to make anybody smile. Yeah, my opinions are always get out on the range, zero your red dot to the ranges that you understand and that you're going to use that red dot at. And a co-witness on a red dot, that's why I have etch reticles we have etch reticles on most of our stuff. Yeah, so if the power goes out on it, you've got an etch reticle to look through on our prism scopes. Yeah,
nice.
I'm not a big fan of the co-witness idea.
For me, personal preference, but 50% co-witness, meaning that the sight post is in the middle of the glass. That tends to take up a lot of, that blocks information from making its way to your eyes. So if you can imagine a bad guy with a gun and it's at his, it's below his chest, you're not going to be able to see it with the 50% co-witness, at least on an AK, because of it gets chopped off. If you go lower third, or our iron sights and different optics go from anywhere from lower 1/3 up to 50%. And lower 1/3 I personally prefer because it lets me see more of the bad guy's body and hands and make a shoot, no shoot decision. However, I am a virgin fantasizing about sex, as it were, with gunfighting. However, enough force on force like that, I've taken a bunch to where I know that I want to see what somebody's hands are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, I think that those are all great, but if you're paying attention to a co-witness, you're not paying attention to what you're supposed to pay attention to.
Oh, truth.
Pete, do you have any?
Ken, I like it.
You got any comment on that one?
I believe my co-witness is lower third. Yep. So, yeah, co-witness on this Occam at lower third. Wouldn't that be correct, Brian? With a standard aim point mount?
Yep. Yeah, I call it a 40% because it's a little bit higher than lower 1/3, and it depends whether you're rocking a T1 or a T2. The heights are just a little different, or a primary arms. We didn't talk about it, so I'm going to bring it up now. Their MD25 is an awesome red dot with a really big viewing tube. Some people get cranky on me that I put a $160 optic on a $3,000 gun. And my reply is that I don't have $5,000. I have $3,000 plus $200. And I believe that all rifles need irons no matter what if they're fighting guns. And so the glass is secondary for me, because if I get mud on it, it ain't working. And so the glass is always, in my mind, you need a backup for glass always. The entry level primary arms red dot, I can shoot sub MOA all day long, works great. And so for you ballers on a budget, yeah, aim point makes fantastic glass. But if you put an aim point on every gun you own, you're going to be broke. And so I rock primary arm stuff as long as I got irons. I don't like I've broken 2 aim points and 0 primary arms, and that doesn't mean that primary is better than aim point. It just means that everything that's glass can break. And so
you bring up
you
bring up a question also, when you're talking about your battle rifle, your irons being your primary and your glass, your optic that you put on there being your secondary. How important is it to have a QD mount?
Critically so, because it's not the battery that I'm worried about going out. It's getting one of my old instructors where it was raining for a solid week. And in one part, he put he threw mud at the fronts of our guns, and my optic was down. And after that, actually, that's how one of the aim points broke, is that it fogged when it had that level of water near it. And so that was the big lesson for me, that you just got to have a backup. Now, if you're halfway decent, you can actually use the pick rail as a sight. And so that goes to Ken's idea of he's going to use an etched glass reticle. And I'm positive Ken's shot a lot, and he can just tip over and use basically feel and point of aim to know where he's shooting. And I can hit steel no sweat with one of our guns at 50 yards without an optic or a sight on it at all. You just use the pick rail, and that actually works pretty well.
Okay.
So there is, just have a backup, and I like iron sights, but Dead Reckoning totally works if you've practiced.
Cool.
Giant underline under if you've practiced.
Next question. Ken, you got one? Did you pick one?
I'm sorry, I got distracted looking
no, that's fine.
To the conversation we were talking about.
No, that's fine.
Let's see. Go to somebody else who's ready, man.
All right.
I know.
Brian, you ready? Here,
Yeah,
Andrew's ready.
Zoom 87 has a question for Brian.
Go ahead. Do it, Brian.
Esom? Oh, sorry. Did I? Question for Brian. What range do you recommend zeroing your PH1 sights at? I have a set on my 13-inch Gen 2 Galil Ace, which is a badass rifle. Congratulations, sir. That I currently have zeroed at 25 yards. So, yeah, I think that you should zero our sights where you want to zero them at and know where your bullets hit. I personally use 50 yards, but I don't. It's not religion. You just, as Ken has been saying, and actually kind of everybody, you just need to know where your bullets hit. So get out, shoot, and figure out what works best for you. I highly recommend taking a class at a good school that does non-square range stuff, because you're going to learn things in that like just shooting off a bench is not a good way to determine what your favorite zero is. You need to get out and use it. And there are arguments for and against every one of them. And so I side with Ken, is we don't care, but you know where your bullets go. That's the big deal.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, that's all.
How about you, Ken? Did you find one?
I'm sorry, man. I'm really, we've covered everything that's in here. Yeah, the zero, we've beat the hell out of the zero already. So the rest of them are pretty all over the place. I mean, if you see one you want me to talk about, you let me know.
Hey, I got
a question right here.
here.
No, I got one. Ryan Abbott says, for Primary Arms Online, I'm addicted to the ACSS. I'm currently rocking your SLX 1-6 FFP and the GLX 2X Prism on my 308 and 7.62x39 Saiga builds. When it comes to fast acquisition of targets with basic wind holds, the ACSS simply dominates. I love the Discovery 2022 drops, but crossing my fingers on an FFP 1-10 ACSS emoji, finger cross. My 308 Saiga custom build has a spot reserved for one if you guys put one out. Maybe Lefty and us leadheads can get an exclusive announcement. That one is being worked on and coming out down the road? ? Wink. My gut's telling me to wait.
I think that I want you to buy right away. So there's a 1-10 in there right now. I know it doesn't meet all of your specifications, but we just released a new 1-10. I would pick that one up. I'm not saying that there's not another 1-10 that's on the way somewhere, but buy now, buy later.
There you go. Kyle Litzy, who was on our competition shooter AK Corner episode that we did with James Leffler, Matt Kitzmiller, Adam Litke, Ken Allen, and Jeremy Gresham, is recommended that we get Zach Smith's shooting on this podcast. He's a Century Arms shooter. You know him, Andrew?
Yeah, no, Zach, he's badass.
Okay. We'll get him on another episode down the road, Kyle, but thanks for the suggestion, definitely. There was another question here specifically for Century. Wolverine 30 says, hello, Lefty. I have a Century Arms question. Where are the micro Dracos? The only one I'm finding for sale are priced at $1,800 to $2,000. I'm thinking $800 to $900 as a max price during these unusual times. What world's he living in?
So Dracos, obviously we don't manufacture the Dracos. They are manufactured in Romania by Romar. And just like anything overseas, production is up, down, all around. We did just get a nice large shipment of Dracos, which did not include any micros. Included some full size and minis, but no micros. We have not been getting a lot of micros. They are built on a different receiver, so we don't see when they make them. They make a whole bunch and they ship them to us, and we don't see any for a long time. Obviously, we are not selling them for $1,800. That's a secondary market situation. Once we sell a gun out to distribution, what somebody decides to sell it for after that, we don't control. But market sets those types of prices. But yes, if we could get 10,000 micro Dracos, we'd sell them all in a day. But unfortunately, the supply is just not there. And just, it's typical for AKs, typical for imports. No new news there, but I do sympathize, and I wish we had lots more micro Dracos.
So this is a good opportunity to talk about what you guys are going to be dropping at SHOT Show.
All right. Since this will be out after SHOT Show is officially on the floor, I will give you guys a real quick heads up on some new stuff we got going on. I'm going to just talk really, really quick. We are launching a brand new Canic competition pistol designed by Nils, which I know you've had on the show before, Marty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's called the Canic Rival. It's badass, and the price is, again, with Century and Canic, you just get that value for your dollar. This thing is loaded up like it's the gun Nils will shoot in competition, and when you see the price, it's going to be pretty impressive. And I think we're going to be moving a whole ton of those. But now let's get into the AK stuff, because we will be launching, or we have launched now that, we have launched our brand new AK called the BFT. So the BFT stands for Bulge Front Trunnion. This is a gun that we've been working on for a while, just to get back to a full-on battle rifle. So the BFT is going to be, obviously has a bulge front trunnion. It's going to be on a 1.5 mil receiver, just like the rest of our guns. A lot of people have complained about Century not having the optics rail on the side. The BFT will have an optics rail. It will have bayonet lug. It will have cleaning rod, standard left-hand thread, slant brake, which the current ones have that as well. But yeah, the gun is going to be pretty badass. So I've already got a sample of it. I've been able to play with it quite a bit. And for all the AK guys
wait,
out
you've
there,
got one?
Do what?
You've got one?
Yeah.
And you haven't invited me over to shoot it?
I haven't been home to shoot it. Marty, I haven't invited
I'm coming
you
over tomorrow.
home.
I'm coming over tomorrow. We're shooting that thing.
Well, you can come over tomorrow, but I ain't gonna have time to shoot it. So
I'll shoot it.
But I'll send it with you.
Sounds good.
But yeah, the BFT, we're pretty excited about that. It kind of
That's awesome.
You can never make everybody happy, but we basically anything anybody's been bitching about, whining about. Why don't you have this feature? Why don't you have that? Why don't you have this? We put it all on there. It's going to have the extended thumb safety with the notch so you can lock the bolt back.
Nice. Yeah.
For to be able to actuate that safety with your index finger if you're so inclined and not a true AK person.
Or you got short fingers. Come on.
Or you got stumpy midget fingers like Marty. It's hard to say. But yeah, so you'll have the extended safety lever on there. Of course, the extended magazine release that's on all the Century guns. And again, this is a manufactured here in the U.S. 100%. So this gun is 100% U.S. manufactured AK, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I can't wait to get one to Brian to see what he can do to it.
Oh, heck yeah. That'd be great. I'd love to check it out.
That sounds awesome.
Anything else? Anything else you guys dropping at SHOT?
Yeah, we've got a few other small things, but we'll stick to the AK lane for the AK corner.
What about the U.S. Palm, Red Army Standard? Anything new and exciting going on down those?
I mean, yeah, Red Army Standard is, just like everybody else's ammo. We can't get enough of it. If we could get 10 times more than we're getting, we still wouldn't have enough of it. And obviously, everyone knows about the Russian ammo situation. Also, just the fact the Russian situation, we don't know where we're going to be heading there politically. Obviously, Red Army Standard is not a exclusively Russian ammunition. Most of our gun ammo does come from Russia, but we will be maneuvering and working through that as the political climate changes. We obviously have opportunities in other places to purchase ammunition, have ammunition manufactured for us. So the Red Army Standard brand is going nowhere. And hopefully by second quarter, we'll start seeing a whole lot better quantities. But, that can change with the drop of a hat, as we all know, with the political climate the way it is right now.
Yeah. We may be getting a lot of that ammo sent to us in a way we don't want it to.
Unloaded.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with that. But and U.S. Palm, we are like you kind of briefed on, Marty. We've got sorry, my phone just did something weird. We've got the Plum coming out, so the Plum magazine, Plum grip, and some other stuff that you guys will see coming out from U.S. Palm over the next year. But for first shot, the main thing you'll see is our new plum colored furniture. If anybody isn't familiar with U.S. Palm, obviously, in my opinion, we make the best polymer AK mag. Long before Century owned U.S. Palm, I've been using their mags for many, many, many years in competition and carrying. The steel reinforcement in that magazine is just, in my opinion, bar none, the best polymer mag you can buy. And I love the U.S. Palm grip. I'm not going to name names, but a lot of people have knocked that grip off. A lot of very popular companies that our lead heads like to use have copied that grip. But it was the OG, and still I still love it. I was using it before I worked at Century, and I'll be using it until I don't shoot AKs anymore.
The ultimate form of flattery, right?
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Excited. Hopefully we'll get some. I'll get some pictures and some videos sent over to you, Marty. You can share with some of the lead heads from our booth at SHOT.
Okay, that'd be great. And I'll come get some trigger time with you on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a good time.
Very good.
Yeah, that shape of that grip is the one shape that fits everybody. It is crazy. It's just really a fantastic design.
I like the texture on it too that you got going on it.
And I mean, it's not expensive. It's such an easy upgrade for $20. I mean, I put it on all my guns.
Big time.
Yeah.
Brian, you got a question? You were gonna hit one a second ago.
And Drew answered it with the ammo. P-Man 301 for the purposes of giveaway. What is the supply looking like for an Army Standard? Drew did a great job answering it, but the short answer is we're going to be fine. Don't stress.
Yeah. Plus, we got Pete stepping up his production there too.
Yes.
Yeah, we got.
Baby, it's all about components.
Yeah, we are coming out with a bunch of new stuff. We're really trying to get into the hunting market as well, because obviously we were born self-defense. Defiant has so much to offer in way of hunting, like 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM, 300 Win Mag, 4570, 3030. We're actually working with another company, which is super exciting, because lever guns have become a very large thing again. So we are working with Mad Pig Customs to come out with 2 4570 loads, one in a supersonic, one in a subsonic, and the same thing in 3030, super and a sub. And it is just absolutely, it's going to change the game in 4570 and 3030. And we're going to offer some new 308 loads that the industry has never seen. I have a 308 185 grain match load for long range. We're going to break a world record with it. And we do a 308 175 in it as well. We are consistently seeing velocities 300 feet per second over any other loads that compare to it, because of the powder that we're using. So essentially what you have is a 308 175 grain match bullet. Now at 1,000 yards, you are only 1.25 mil difference from my 308 load in 6.5 Creedmoor. I think I missed that. So if you take a 6.5 Creedmoor and compare it to my 308 load, the 308 load is shooting 1.25 mil lower at 1,000 yards than the 6.5 Creedmoor. And the 308 loads that we're going to be doing are literally game changers. So
very cool.
Yeah.
All right. This question is from Bildo Teabaggins, and I'm going to read this because I want us all to bust on him. Okay, we're going to bust on him hard.
I feel like we need to pause and give thanks for that username.
Well,
that's amazing.
That's not his username. That's what I call him.
That's not his username. That's what we call it.
That's his nickname.
Okay. Well, I'll just get back in my corner. Never mind.
But thank you, because
I
came up with it.
Started off just being Bilbo, and it just kept being added to.
More and more gin and whiskey were being drank. So his question is, thus far, what has been the best optic for an AK?
Oh, I know who we're talking about now. That's cruel and unusual.
I responded.
All right, Bilbo. I'm going to tell you what the best optic for an AK is. The best optic for an AK is the one you like the best.
Thus far.
That doesn't break and holds zero.
Thus far.
Thus far.
Thus far.
That's the one you can afford.
Talking about lazy people, that's the laziest question I've seen to try to win a prize.
Well, we still love you, Bilbo.
There you go. We've got several more questions, but we're running long on time. We need to give some stuff away. So unless you guys see another question that you'd like to field or answer there, let's go through and let's give away some cool shit. What do you say? Everybody got thumbs up? I'm not looking at you. So, all right, Ken, we're gonna hold off on the optic. Let's pick the winner for the dump tray. The Mission First Tactical, AK Corner, Custom Dump Tray, Armorer's Tray. Who do you think should win that out of the ones that we just read? What was your favorite question? Group discussion here.
Well, Bilbo had the dumpiest question, so let's give him the dump tray.
I like it. I like it.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I'll make sure that he gets a little special something extra printed on here. A big Bildo. I'll have a Bildo printed on there. I'll get Dave to do that. So there you go, Bildo. Shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com. Let me know you won the dump tray. Goober. All right, let's give away the ammo. Are you doing ammo, coffee? What are you giving away, Pete?
Well, I don't care. I'll tell you what. We'll tell them what the ammo is, and then I will just throw a package together. Maybe some coffee and some other cool shit, and
okay, one person will get an ammo swag pack from Defiant Munitions. All right,
is that cool?
That's awesome. I love it. And I'll let you pick. Are you on social media?
I am, but I'm having trouble for some reason seeing any of the questions. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Okay. Let's see. How could we do this? Pick a number between 1 and, what is it, like 38 or something? 40? I don't know how many we got there so far. 41 looks like. View all 41 comments. So let's say we got 41 on Instagrams.
Okay. 41 comments on Instagrams. All right. Let's do 39 for 762 by 39.
39. All right. So I'll start at the bottom. There's 41, 40. Is that how that works? 39. Bailey Muller 80.
Okay.
Bailey Muller 80. And his question was, when are we getting a build class? And he's asking you, Brian.
As soon as I can get a little bit of free time is the short answer. It is, right now I'm working about 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week, just trying to keep the show on the road. So when things calm down a little bit, we are absolutely going to be doing that. It probably won't be doing riveting. It'll probably be more like final assembly of a rifle or of an action. And the reason is that a bunch of people teach riveting well, and you need a few weeks to get good at building an AK, and I can get people good at doing armoring and putting together one of our guns in a weekend and then test it. And so I want to leave the riveting to a bunch of folks that do it well, Rifle Dynamics, Mesa Kinetic, our friends, and help me out, Lee Armory. There we go. Lee Armory puts on a class. All those guys really know what they're doing. Yeah. So we're going to try and offer something that's not there. And but it keeps getting pushed to when things calm down. Which is always 6 months off in the future.
Very cool.
I've been doing this like 23 years, Brian. It hasn't calmed down yet.
Yeah. I suspect that you are correct. Yeah.
Let's give away the magazines next. Century Arms, U.S. Palm Magazine, 10-pack. Let's do that. Let's do it on Facebook. We got listeners on Facebook too. We need to reward. So pick a number between 1 and it's like 10.
Me?
Yeah.
1 and 10. Let's go with beautiful number 5.
Number 5. That is 1, 2, 3. That's a double one, so I don't count that one. Peter Wiktorski. His question was, is there really a QC standard for 7.62x39 ammo being manufactured by so many countries that can guarantee results with a traditional scope or BDC reticle, or are you better off with a red dot and Kentucky windage? That was his question.
Wants to know if all ammunition, no matter where it's made, is consistent.
I think he's wanting to know, is there a company that does a better QC quality control for their ammo to guarantee a BDC when sighting in with the BDC reticle.
And there's really no guarantee to that period, no matter what. But if you're looking for something more consistent, you definitely want to buy a U.S. made ammunition product in 760 by 39. Not necessarily brass cased, but a U.S. manufactured one. You're going to just get better consistency and better quality control.
Yep, absolutely well said.
Very cool. So Peter Wiktorski, talkinglead@gmail.com. Tell me what you won, what episode, and your contact info. We'll need that too. Seal 1, complete gun care package, their COP package. It'll have 3 different delivery methods 3 or 4 delivery methods of their product to clean, lube, and protect your firearms. It also works on your knives. It works on your marine products, pretty much anything and everything. It's good stuff. I've been using it for over a year now, and we really appreciate Dwight and Seal 1 coming back for another year of supporting the Talking Lead AK Corner. So let's pick a winner for that, and I'll go to randomly down through here on Instagram and stop. And Kitzmiller 3-gun. And like I said, he was a guest on our show a few episodes back, competition shooter, and he just said badass. So he's glad that we're back for season 4. So are we.
Right.
So Matt, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com. We'll get you that Seal 1 cleaning package.
So I have a question. So will this person that won this ammo thing, will they contact me? How's this work?
Which one won it?
The Bailey Mueller 80?
Yeah. So he's going to contact me. Shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and then I will forward his info on to you.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Cool.
And if they don't contact me, they don't get it.
Right. Yep.
And our listeners know that I don't contact you. I will not send you an email and let you know that you won. You have to email me, so you have to listen to the show to win.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't, too bad, so sad. And we've got several unclaimed package prizes, I think, from the last episode, Brian. From the last AK Corner.
You cannot win if you do not play.
That's right. And they
You have to play to win.
They just go unclaimed. So I think that's everything except the optic.
Wait, before we do that, hypothetically, if a friend calls in and says that they are interested in those prizes that are sitting there, just hypothetically.
Just hypothetically. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I will do.
Ken likes prizes.
If you go back and listen to all the episodes and you know the prizes that are unclaimed, or you know the prizes and you can ask if they're unclaimed, I will send those to you if they are unclaimed. How about
there
that?
You go.
You're going to get a lot of phone calls with random prizes thrown.
FPS Murdoch, you have received your marching instructions.
There you go. And they're not going to know what's claimed and what's unclaimed. So if you ask about something and it's already claimed, then you got to send it to me. How about that? That's like a game show, isn't it? That'd be cool. I got to give a shout out to the League of Pirates too. He's been on here fielding some of these questions for us too. So,
hey, we love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Except for me, I don't love
League of Pirates.
You don't love Jay?
I'm playing.
No, it's the League of Pirates.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't love Jay.
I'm totally joking. Jay is up there on one of the greatest people that I know. He's an awesome dude, man.
Yes, he is. I miss Jay a lot. Yeah.
So, you guys who don't follow the League of Pirates on Instagram, get on there because the amount of he's ramped his citizen intel back up, and you can get the news about 2 days ahead of time if you're following him on the gram, the League of Pirates.
You will get news from him that you won't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
They refuse to post it. All right, Ken. Have you been through the Facebooks? You've been through the Instagrams? Which question did you see there that earned in your opinion, that awesome
I thought
optic?
you were rando picking. I thought you said you were going to rando pick.
I think I just want you. I think you want me to random pick, or do you want to pick one?
You know what? Let's just let's see. I'm on the Facebook right now.
Okay.
And I'm on comments.
We got about 10 or 11 there, and then we got like 41 on Instagram. So we could add those together and do a
Instagram. All right, let's go back to Instagram. I'm here now on Talking Lead. Yeah, you're right. We got a lot in here. So I'm going to scroll and randomly stop. Okay.
Okay. You're going to stop on me. Stop on me.
I am on what is it? Join MJ
Milner's Might. Milner's Might.
Yes. Yep. Is that a good one? Do you like him?
Yeah, he is a good listener. He's a good leadhead. He's won some stuff. That's the thing about it too, leadheads, is you can win more than once on this show, just not the same show. But he's won some stuff in the past. So his question is, what's everyone's go-to mounting option and why? Side rail, dust cover like TWS dogleg, rear sight replacement like the Adaro Arms Bravo, or the classic Ultimac? That's a pretty good question too. So
it is actually, because I just put the Altero Arms one on my rifle, and I'm really kind of digging it. It is an alternative mount. I'd never done one before. I picked one up at Kalashmas or Kalash Bash, and wanted to try it out and just pop out the sight.
Hold that up again. I want to see that.
Our camera. There we go.
Yeah.
Where's the camera?
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you pop out that sight and you clip that in there. It's really solid. It screws in really well, and you can pull off your dust cover as well.
Very nice. And that's the Altero?
Yeah.
Altero?
Yeah.
And Ken, is that the pattern, the bolt pattern on that thing? Is that for the prism?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it drops that prism right on there. Yeah, you can use the different height options on it as well. It's got the 3-screw setup on it. It screws right in there. This is really nice, man. I'm really digging it. You can pull the dust cover off and everything. Yeah. Cool. You're not taking apart your AK. You're not having to drill holes in the side. Yeah, if you don't have one with holes in the side, hey, Andrew, you got a whole lot of optic options now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that answers his question, I think. Go to that Adaro, because you're going to tell him, Don Pardo, what he's won.
Well, for that question, which was excellent, because it was random. That was really good. Just totally scrolled down and found it.
Seriously, it was completely random.
It was serendipitous.
Yes, serendipitous. I love that. You win a 1X micro prism. You can. This is one of the best optics out there. Like I said, I'm not pimping the workplace. This is the 1-8 and this micro prism are two of my favorite optics that I've laid eyes on in that place. And I've got 5 of these now, on my guns. So, we've got green ones, we've got FDE ones, we've got red, we've got a 9mm now. You are winning a 1X micro prism.
Very cool. Awesome. That is so awesome.
So
Milnor's Might, Thor's Hammer, you are the winner. Email me, talkingled@gmail.com. All the winners, everybody who won something, talkingled@gmail.com. Put in the subject line what episode this is, what you won, and your contact info. I got to have your freaking mailing address, for God's sake, if you want this shit. So don't just send me one saying I won, and don't tell me what it is or your address, because you ain't going to get it.
Right.
So there you go. That's awesome. Awesome Season 4 kickoff. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be on. Ken, awesome having you back on, man. I look forward to getting you back on, maybe some episodes here in the future. We got 11 more to do. Brian. 11 more episodes.
I'm there. You just let me
Starting
know.
strong. This was a great time. Thank you, gentlemen.
This one. Pete, buddy, I'm sorry you're feeling bad. We'll get you back on when you're feeling a little bit better. But you were awesome, dude. Once you started clicking there, buddy.
Yeah, I apologize for all the technical difficulties I'm feeling horrible. So, anyways, I apologize to all the viewers and stuff that I was, got up and had technical difficulties and stuff.
No apologies necessary, because I'm going to edit all that shit out and you're going to sound great. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Do you want to give away some more ammo? I mean, I thought we were going to give like 2 people some ammo.
Oh, that's up to you, man. I think Ken wants some. And
So there's a question from Drew 9177.
Say what, Andrew?
There was a question from Drew 9177. He wanted to know how good Defiant Munitions 760 by 39 is.
Well, there you go. Well, we got a winner. You know what? Since he, we'll also include the Defiant cock for him.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Nice.
So, Drew, we will hook you up. I don't have any 7.62 by 39 124 in stock, but I will at the end of next week. I will ship you 2 boxes of that. One very rare and highly valuable Defiant cock, amongst maybe other things. So there you go, Drew. You can find out on yourself. And if you have any questions, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. And you can just call me or text me, man.
That's Andrew Brenneman right there. So.
Yeah.
He knew that, didn't he?
The rival, Marty.
If you want to, Pete, do you want to give away a couple more boxes of ammo real quick?
Yeah. So we gave the Bailey Mueller.
He gets the nice package, right? He gets the ammo and the coffee and whatever else, and then we'll just give like a couple of boxes of your ammo. How about that?
So let's give 2 different people 2 boxes.
Okay. And because P-Man and Sack Archer like to go at each other on the post, I really enjoy reading their post to one another. P-Man, we are seeing a rise in AKs available in other calibers with other companies. Does Century have any plans of importing or producing Pews in 5.45 or 5.56? And then Sack Archer responds, P-Man, I threw up in my mouth a little at 5.56. Had me excited, and then you killed it.
Proud to say that Sack Archer is a customer of mine, and I can vouch for his opinion.
Word.
So I think we should send him 5.56, Sack Archer.
Yeah, send the sacks, and make sure he gets a Defiant cock too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So P-Man and Sack Archer, talkingled@gmail.com. I'll forward your info to Pete, and then he can decide what he wants to send you.
Even better.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect.
Right on.
Perfect. More than generous, Pete. I appreciate you doing that, buddy. Taking care of our listeners. No other podcast takes care of their listeners better than Talking Lead and our friends of the show and our sponsors.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm glad to do it, and I think everybody's glad to do it. So that's cool. There was some, that scope is totally killer sounding, and those are some awesome prizes.
Absolutely. So. And there's no telling what we have in store for the rest of the season. With Andrew making that announcement of the new AK and Century being the new presenting sponsor, you never know what's possible on this show. So
it's great.
You have to listen. You have
a sneak peek at the new Canic Rival.
You have to. Oh, you got to peek. Let's peek it. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask if you had a way to see that.
Go that way. Right there. Yeah. Can you unholster it, buddy? Can you unholster that monster?
I was just trying to get off the cool ass holster.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's like
I can't see shit.
Carbon fiber.
Oh, that looks badass. So for those listening at home, one of the issues with Canics in the past was finding holsters for them. And Canik solved that problem. The gun comes with what
holster.
looks like a very credible holster there. So
Yeah.
excellent.
And we actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Brian, because we are actually launching Canik holsters in the U.S. They started manufacturing a full line of holsters. Your standard Caniks, not just like the Rival and stuff, are now coming with an inside/outside of the waistband holster. All of them. So any of your TP9s, your subcompacts, whatever, all coming with a really, really nice inside-outside waistband Kydex holster now.
Nice.
Which killer, but we're also going to be offering a full line of Kydex holsters from Canik for the Caniks, including some duty holsters for some of the LE guys out there. We're going to have some of those options available now, and there are options available already. I mean, the Safari Land manufactures level 2 and level 3 holsters for the Canik full-size guns already, and Alien Gears, a lot of people that have them. But you're right. Until the last couple of years, it was pretty hard to get a decent holster for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is excellent. For
Very
you
good.
ballers on a budget, I would, not that I want to get in a gunfight, but if I knew I was getting in a gunfight, I wouldn't for a minute worry about carrying a Canik. They are stupid accurate, very reliable, well made. They are inexpensive. They are not cheap.
Yep.
And
Primary carrying
they-
those, Ken? Is primary carrying the Canik?
Yeah, I believe we don't have any in stock right now, Drew. Can you get me some more?
You need to call your rep, who isn't me, but you know who
Yeah.
it is.
But Andrew, you got that AK you can show us too?
I do know. who
Man,
it
I
is.
tried to find it, and I don't remember which one of my safes it's in. So
I forgot to
got
tell
tired
you, I came by earlier today, and you were taking a nap, and I scooched it.
I doubt that happened.
Very cool, very cool. Awesome stuff coming from Century Arms. If you're going to be at SHOT Show Leadheads, make sure you go by their booth. They're going to be set up there, working it, having the stuff there on display. Ken, did you say you guys are having a booth there this year?
No, we are not displaying. Am I on mute there?
No, you're good. I hear you.
Oh, okay. No, we are not displaying this year. I will be at SHOT Show. I'm going to be attending a number of meetings, but we are not displaying this year.
Gotcha. Well,
Hey, Marty,
Hey.
for all the lead heads out there,
Yeah.
if any of you guys are going to be at SHOT Show, you come to the Century booth, you find me, Andrew, and tell me you're a lead head, and I got a special gift for every lead head that comes to the booth.
Awesome.
Nice. There you go.
That's cool. I like that. And make sure you nut thump the giant when you go by.
Yeah, free to nut thump the giant. He is almost 7 foot tall, so do it at your own risk.
Yeah, do it at your own peril. Pete, you're not going to make it, right? You're not going to be at SHOT Show. And Brian, you just said you're not going to make it either?
Unfortunately, I had to pull out at the last minute here.
That's what she said.
Yeah, we had a spindle go bad in the shop today, so I have an unexpected $10,000 repair bill.
All sexual
Yeah,
innuendos.
stings a little.
Forgot to pull out. Now I got a $10,000 doctor bill. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, very good. Big thanks to all our returning sponsors, IWIUS. Check them out. Let them know how much you appreciate them coming back for Season 4 of the AK Corner. Seal 1. You can go to seal1.net and use that discount code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 25% off at seal1.com. Dave and the gang at Mission First Tactical, use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 20% off anything on their site. And you can even get these dump trays, their wallets, their magazines. You can get custom print things on there too. They'll pretty much print anything you want to on that stuff. So cool way to customize. They make great gifts. You got a buddy, you got somebody's got a birthday or anniversary, or maybe they just got engaged. These make awesome gifts for brides and grooms.
Hey, Mark,
Hey.
something I just thought about.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a Defiant Munitions discount code for your listeners?
Look at it. It just gets better and better. This episode.
Well, I'm just thinking,
This is awesome.
I kind of fucking felt left out, like when you were naming that. So why don't we let's
talk it. Just call it Leadhead. Just keep it
Okay.
Leadhead. I like to keep them all the same. Leadhead.
Okay, the only thing, okay, I see. So they're all the same. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I just leadhead, all caps.
However you want to do it.
My discount codes, for some reason, it makes a difference. So,
okay. However you want to set it up. However you guys set it up.
Yep.
You tell me, and we'll tell them right now what it is.
Yep, we're going to do leadhead, all caps, all one word, and that'll get you 10%.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Nice.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, I just, it just makes sense, right? So
thank you for doing that. So there you go, Leadheads. Go to Defiant Munitions website. Right?
Yep, I will have it live here before I leave the shop.
This isn't posted until the 19th, so you got time, buddy.
The what? Oh, okay. There you go. So yeah, we'll cool. We'll get it live.
Awesome. Appreciate you doing that. So there you go, Leadheads. I'll add that on my discount code list here. Definitely. And then Factory 47, you want to get the cool AK Corner hoodies and T-shirts, and I'm going to try to get him to do hats. He's not doing hats yet, but we got tumblers too that have the cool AK Corner logo, this logo on it. You can get those at Factory 47. That's FAKTRY 47.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 10% off at Factory 47. And then, of course, Occam Defense Solutions. Brian, really great to have you back as my co-host again this year. We've got several shows we've been talking about that we're lining up that I know is going to knock the socks off of our AK listeners here. So thanks again. And appreciate all the support from you guys.
Well, thank you. The feeling's mutual, and thanks to all the leadheads that support Occam Defense. There are many, and we really appreciate you.
And then Andrew, Century Arms, again, made Season 4 possible. Couldn't have done this without you guys stepping up and being our presenting sponsor for Season 4. It's just going to make it even better than last season. I know all the new stuff that you guys got coming out, we're going to talk about that as the season progresses and get into that. And hopefully you'll be joining us.
Yeah, man, we're excited to be back on board. And, it's going to be a good time, going to be a good year, going to be a great Season 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. And then, Ken, again, with Primary Arms, all the new stuff that you guys have coming out, definitely, even on our regular show, love to get you guys on, and we can talk about some of the non-AK stuff that you guys have coming out and coming up. So we'd love to have you guys back on, too.
It'll be a pleasure to be here. I always enjoy coming on with you guys. Like, again, getting to mess with Andrew, talking to Brian, seeing you again. It's a privilege. I don't tell a lot of people that, but when I started in the gun industry, your show was one of the first ones I started before I got into the gun industry. Your show was one of the first ones I listened to all the time.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I just got chills.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the automotive magazine industry, and I used to listen to you guys all the time on my 45-minute drive into Detroit. So.
Oh, that's cool, man. That is awesome. I didn't know that. So we are in our 10th year, going into our 10th year this year. So 10 years of Talking Lead, and it's all due to great people like you guys, the companies that get behind us and help support us and our listeners. So we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you. And Leadheads, we will be back next month with another kick-ass episode of the Talking Lead AK Corner. But until then, shoot me an email if you've got suggestions on guests, topics, things you want us to cover, talkinglead@gmail.com, and Brian and I will do our best to make that happen for you. So if you're going to SHOT, have a good time. If not, we'll see you next month, Leadheads.